We'll start the demonstration by creating a new report. As you can see from the screen, we're using a browser and there is no client install required for this application. Everything is driven by templates, so we have a number of templates that we can choose from. They could be based on particular brands or individual funds, as is the case here. Give the report a name. Now the report design is automatically saved, and on the left is the components which it's loaded from a library. You can have any number of components available and pre-designed for the users to make use of. You can also have different formatting readily available too, so in this case we've got some branding which we can load quite easily. We're going to want to maximize our space, so I'll take out the padding. And we'll start by putting in some text. As we can see, if I drag this across, it automatically loads the component, and this one here is actually a free text editor from the web. And I'll just paste in the text, and that gives me my first entry point. We have fund performance, a pre-built component again. Load that into the design. We can bring in other things such as the geographical allocation, and finally I'll put in our sector allocation. So it's pretty easy to build reports based on components which are already available to you, but then more of the power is in creating reports components from scratch. So if I click on the new, we'll make a new report. We're now using Actuate's BIRT Report Studio product. Again, based on templates, so I don't have to repetitively do things. I can quite quickly pick up components which are already available to me. So if I say I want to make another table similar to the ones we saw just now, choose the business information I want to look at, and we have a number of available data sets here. This one is for fund summary, and then on the left here we get to choose the data which is presented to us in a business manner. If I take the marketing name, we'll take percentage of fund and percentage of index, add those into my report and just click OK. Now that I can see the information, actually I'm just interested in the top 10, so what I'll do here is I'll sort the data and then I'll just filter down to show me the top 10. So now my components are available to me. I just simply save that. We'll give it a name. And we could give a description if we wanted. That is now saved. While I'm here, let's just make another component quickly. This time we'll make a chart. So again, we'll choose the specific templates. Again, we're going to be using the business information layer. We're going to look at current fund value this time. And we'll just take the date, fund price, and the primary index price. Click OK. Now we're presented with the chart builder. There's a number of different chart types here. I'll pick the area chart. Tell it how we want the data to be displayed, so we're going to put the date as the x-axis. We'll do it by quarter, and those two numeric values we just chose will include those, and we'll click OK. Now we want this to be quite a bit smaller and only occupy 1/3 of the column width, so we'll customize it a bit further. We'll make a nicer chart title. We'll specify the font size to make that a bit smaller. We can delete some of these legends and titles that we don't want. We'll put the legend above, and again we'll change the font size to something a bit smaller. And if we make the labels at an angle as well, 45 degrees, and let's see what we've got. Okay, that looks quite good, but we still want the size to be a bit smaller. We could drag size it, but I know that 1/3 of the column width is going to be 63, so I'll just put that in. Of course, the template could do that for you by default. In our example, we've got the capability to resize them if we wish. I'll just press save and call it My Funds Chart. Now we can close this, and if I just do a simple refresh, because these libraries will be loaded immediately, we can see my top 10 and we can see the chart. So if I just scroll down, I'll incorporate those into this. And then to match the exact example we were trying to create, we have the remaining text which has been pre-built in a component. This could have been done by several different components. It really depends on how often you need to be reusing that component as to whether you want it to be a pre-built component or not. Now if I click here, that will take me straight across into the Actuate server, and inside the server I can browse and go to the drafts folder, and there is my report. I now have the full capability of the server, so if I wanted to, for example, schedule the report to run, I could do that quite easily. Say have it running daily, for example. If you wanted to output it into specific output formats, so let's say we actually want it to be only available as PDF or only available as Excel, we could do that. And that's now executing in the batch. And if I wanted to check that, I can just go to the batch and look at the scheduled jobs, and there is my schedule pending. If I want to run it immediately, it's just simply click on it, click finish, and it will run the report for me. So now we can see the report. We can still further work with it. So if I go to enable interactivity, I could actually say filter, and let's say I'm not actually interested in including the cache, so I want to eliminate the cache from that report, and that's now filtered that. If we look at the various export options, so export the content, I'll export it into PDF. You can see the report here. We could also export it into Excel or any of the formats available. I'll just quickly show you Excel. Need to resize a couple of the columns there, but otherwise it's made a perfectly functioning Excel spreadsheet. We have calculations that are in here, so we even have the data. If I want to go and unhide the data, I can actually see the data that's being used in the report. Down here we've got the chart, and it is a fully functional Excel chart. We can change the formats if we want and look at different capabilities there. If we wanted to save it locally, we could do so. So that was a very quick demonstration of using the MyBIRT application to construct a report made out of a mixture of pre-built components and accessing a very user-friendly business layer, enabling business users to create their own components. Other capabilities within the solution come under dashboarding. Here you can see a partially completed dashboard. It was initially designed for a larger rectangular screen, so it's a bit squashed in here, but we'll make do. Capabilities here would be, for example, drilling down within the hierarchies, drilling back up again. We could also drill across, i.e. going to a more detailed report, or even drilling to the report that we created earlier. This is highly graphical, allowing you to zoom in and zoom out on different data sets, and any type of visualization is possible in here. The easiest way to give dashboarding to your business would be to pre-build some dashboard tabs, and they would just appear like this one as standard fund. There are a number of tabs here that I could select from. Alternatively, I could make life a little easier and give them some flexibility, so being able to create or modify dashboards, but perhaps giving a selection of pre-built components to enable that capability. So here we've got some pre-built filters as well as some pre-built components. Under new data visualizations and other options here, we can see the types of things which are available to us. So we've got cross tabs, tabular ways of looking at the data, and a number of different visual elements such as the donut chart that you can see on the screen. And it's just a matter of dragging it onto the screen and saying which data you want to display. The data selection, same thing again. We've just chosen the country filter, but we could drop any one of these down onto our dashboard and choose the particular piece of data. And then to complete the picture, we have extras. This is where we support the Google Gadget standard, enabling you to incorporate pretty much any kind of visualization you want. If you wanted to incorporate something we built before, so we would just simply browse the report and then choose the part of the report that we'd like to incorporate into the dashboard. So if we say sector, for example, that will then give us that pre-built component. Obviously we can edit it to a certain amount. For example, shortening the header would be useful. And then I can just rearrange the dashboard to include these components. We've got a number of different objects here. If I filter on this, we'll see the immediate effect on the data that we're looking at on the screen. So that was the conclusion of this short presentation. Hopefully you've seen the flexibility and reusability of much of what we've been able to show you. Thank you.